Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rain Frontier here on Gateway Sports, here on another Tuesday. We got some AIF action going on last weekend. We also got a little bit of kind of like a schedule release for the International League and kind of showed some of their overseas games. They're only going to go for a little when you see some overseas action. You got the, excuse me, you got a few more signs when it comes to Arena Football 1 for the National Arena League, and we're getting close to beginning because right now AIF is going on right now. The National Arena League is going to start here in a few weeks, then the Indoor Football League, then so on and so forth with the Arena Football 1, the Arena League, the AAL, and of course the International Arena League. So let's start with the International Arena League with their schedule. They're going to start. And strangely, my computer has. There we go. They announced that their season will kick off on mid April, April 18th. And so now you got a kind of little bit of a starting of a thing there in April because Arena Football 1 started, I think, a little bit before that. Then you got them, then also the AAL. So, and then, as I said before, the Arena League starts up in May. So they put out the overseas games, which are going to have the North American division versus the European division. And it is as follows here. Week 6, you got the Tartans versus the Utah 8s. The Stuttgart Stallions versus the Las Vegas Rockers in Week 7. Week 9 is Zurich Ibex versus the Pennsylvania Benjamins. Week 11, Orlando Slingers against the Stuttgart Stallions. I'm assuming that the teams on the right that I say last is the home team there. Then you got the Dusseldorf Warriors and Arizona Juggernauts on week 11. The England Eruptors in week 14 going to Cincinnati. Then you got the Pennsylvania Benjamins also in week 14 facing the Dusseldorf Warriors. Then finally in week 15, the Utah 8s go to Zurich to face the Ibex, and then the Arizona Juggernauts go face the Tartans. So it's kind of interesting to find out, some of us were speculating that it was going to be strictly all the North American, then all Europe, then the crossovers would happen until the championship. Now that we know that it basically, I will say it's in the beginning here. And as I said before, this is still kind of interesting. We still got some question marks when it comes to this because, we got a few players signed up here and there. It's more like the questioning's on the European side as well because, European has higher taxes and you have to think about green card, passport when it comes to both sides there. So, how that's going to work for travel. So, it's going to be interesting. And then also, as me and Zach had here a few weeks ago, how the contracts are with the International Arena League players. So, still a little bit there's the difference between this one and another one is that they actually are more active. You see them have a live happen every single week. You got Dan Lust involved. You got a few others there. Right now, after this, the thing that they announced is that they are now doing dance tryouts for each of their teams right now. So they're being active, unlike other leagues that I've seen, they're coming, but you barely see anything going on. Though the thing that's weird, we're seeing some of the schedule there, though it's not on their official website, so that's kind of interesting. So it's still a bit of a question mark when it comes to them, but I'm hoping for the best. To get the European market into arena football, which I think it will work. This is the same, European has an old sports tradition because people forget in the United States, we're still technically the new world when it comes to all the countries in the world. In Europe, those are old traditional type of deals there that go back hundreds of years when it comes to sports tradition and all that. So it's going to be interesting how they accept arena football. I think it's going to be kind of similar because similarly, another sport that's kind of similar to football in the European countries is rugby. So, be interesting to see there. That'll be it for that one there. So, though there is a big question that I do have, if I can find it here, because I had it here. Okay, let me find it here. Uh, okay, hold on here. Because on the shows thing there for the International Football Association, if those I remember, because I had a former person that was supposed to run the New York Dragons. This was a arena football league that was held in the northeastern part of the country, and it that seriously pretty much like Midwest, there's still some spots there, but it's like the Eastern Coast is like so desolate when it comes to arena teams. There's hardly much there. And then I would say more on the West Coast side too. It's more like the mid to the western part where all the stuff, and then also you still got some south, but you need some more teams in the southeastern part as of right now, in my humble opinion. But it's going to be interesting, though. A reason I mentioned the International Football League Association because they were supposed to have this deal here. It didn't happen. You had staff that were part of teams first, then they moved away. We still haven't heard from the former commissioner that his name escapes me, that was part of the Buffalo Bills, the former wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, a popular one. Right now on Facebook ads and also on Instagram, they're asking for investors to come and invest in the International Football League Association with the four team logos and stuff being part of it. So it's kind of interesting that this is coming after you're doing investments, but it's going to be hard to convince investors because it looks like it was going to be popular, or like especially in the New York Dragons market, but then all of a sudden it just stopped, changed, and everyone left type of situation. So it's going to be kind of hard to convince investors to join in with that league, in my opinion. But you never know. Some people could be convinced. But for the entire football league, I like if it does, I'll be happy for it. But I'm just so confused when it comes to that. So now I guess we'll go, before we talk about the AIF, we'll do some arena football one type of signings here. There was a few signs over the week here. You had two for the Nashville Cats, Peyton Wilhallo from Northern Michigan, and linebacker, defensive lineman Kennedy Nelson from Davenport University. Then Minnesota Arsenal signed defensive back from Northern State, Lorenzo Jones Jr. And then there was also a league suspension as well. A little bit after show, there's another one here. Isaiah Foote from Nashville, so it doesn't say what he was suspended for. It's not really clear when it comes to that. So let me get rid of that. Then the other signings that happened that was announced before Valentine's Day, you got from the Javari Edwards signed to the Washington Wolfpack defensive line from Colorado. Isaiah Pettick, University of Oregon defensive lineman signed to Oregon Lightning from Mississippi Valley State. Blake Davis signed to the Oregon Lightning wide receiver from Western Oregon. Darius Tolbert, offensive lineman, signed also to the Oregon Lightning from ASA College. Curleen Pierre, Oregon Lightning defensive back, Sacred Heart University. Noah Butglier signed to the Kentucky Barrels offensive line from the University of Delaware. Interesting name. Joshua Coca, Albany quarterback. No, signed to the Albany Firebirds, a quarterback from St. Francis University. More likely going to be Sam Castanova's backup. Justin Reed also signed to the Albany Firebirds offensive line from East Carolina University. Amari Manuel signed a defensive back to the Oregon Lightning from Andrew College. Kai West, Albany defensive back, signed from Minnesota State. Three releases. Fred Payton Jr. That kind of made sense. He's probably going to go somewhere else because he know he was not going to start with San Castronova, though that would have been a good 1-2 punch just in case. Got released from Mercer, so he's going to go somewhere else. McQuail Harvey, Albany got released offensive line from Albany State. Lose a local guy, unfortunately. Albany also released defensive back Isaiah McFarland from Kentucky State. Then we also got another league suspension. Wide receiver also from Albany from Arizona State that got suspended. I wish they put why they were suspended. That would be kind of good right now. Then we'll go for a rumor here because as of right now, when it comes to Arena Football 1, we do know that they're having some of their games be on the Vice network, game of the week type deal on the cable network. So now the question is, where are they going to have the rest of their games? On YouTube, somewhere else? Because unfortunately, the streaming service they were on, Evergreen Now, is gone. So there is a rumor, and I'm going to state rumor because looks like they might be going to a new service here. So this is just rumors between us and our arena group and all that stuff here. Because right now, and it's called Poob, P-O-O-B, sorry. Though it's interesting, the website for it is, though it might be the wrong one here, just a moment. Because, wait a minute. Because I thought, because it's a .org site, not a .com, though there is a .com version, but I don't think it's that one because that one you have to pay. So right now it's called Poob, P-O-O-B. So that's the rumor right now. We'll probably hear something. We thought we were supposed to hear something today, but like I said, it's rumored, and they do need to announce it soon because they're like a lot of few leagues, they start their season in April. Let's see here. Then when it comes to the National League, they start soon. They have games starting next weekend with two of their teams, but it's mostly preseason type games. So be interesting on that, though. One of their teams, the Louisiana Rubaroo, announced a signing of a quarterback, which has a pretty big chance to start how it's advertised on their Facebook. Though I need to see why. Great, my computer is loading slow. Oh, here we go. William Walters. So William Walters is stepping in as the new quarterback for the Louisiana Rubu, and he's coming hungry. Walters is ready to command the offense and bring excitement to every snap. This is about grit. This is about toughness. This is about leading the pack snap after snap. The offense just found its edge, and Rue Crew is going to feel it. Welcome to the pack, William. Roots, the one deal from the French saying there, I can't really say it or remind myself what it is. So, yeah, so they basically looks like they got their starting quarterback. So we'll see because the Louisiana Rubaroo, though they were new last year, like they were the teams I was thinking hopefully get some improvement when it comes into the National League. So it's good for them. Then let's see here. Got that one, got that one. And yes, so the other thing before we go with the three games from the AIF is that currently the Indoor Football League is having their league meetings in Vegas. Nothing has come out of meetings as of yet, but it's a 3-day meeting, and we'll probably hear something probably in a more likely tomorrow or Thursday. So that's going on right now. So, and their season starts next month, like mid-March. So it's going to be, it's good. Like right now, it's a little bit slower in football, but it's going to pick up pretty quickly here, especially in the end of February, beginning of March. So that does with that. So Now we got that there. So now we'll go with the three AIF games. First one, you finally have a conference game with the West Michigan Ironmen versus the North Michigan Muskies. Interesting about this game here. This was on their Facebook page. I apparently it was on YouTube, but I couldn't find it. But I watched the Facebook feed a little bit. It was kind of the Northern Michigan Muskies kind of had a little bit of a mishap, similar to what the West Michigan Ironman had a few weeks ago. Similar but different. Because as I reported a few weeks ago, West Michigan trailer that hold all their equipment and all that stuff got stolen, including what was their helmets. And but interesting enough, the North Michigan Muskies actually wore a semi-pro arena team's jerseys, and then there was a mixed match of helmets on their players. Like some were some were the same color as white, but then it was like one yellow, one blue, one this and that. So it was kind of interesting that that happened to the North Michigan Muskies there. And then the other thing that was the problem is that about almost I think it was hold up um that a few of their players actually did not make it, so they only had about half of their roster, so that kind of affected them a little bit. Though I will say, even though how the score is, I'll say that in a minute, it was a lot much closer game than what it showed than what the score was. But the game was started pretty good. The West Michigan shown what they usually do with their quarterback Alex Carter. He threw pretty well. There were still a few mistakes, but I will say with Western Michigan, they have vastly improved their commentating, picture quality, and stuff compared to last year. So that was a good thing there, I thought too. North Michigan's quarterback Ben did okay too, though it just talent wise it wasn't there yet. Though Northwest Michigan has had a few basically tune up games, while this was North Michigan's first game of the season. And I will say, they weren't playing with a full deck because, like I said, they didn't have all their players. It's still, and just think, and also mentally too, you're playing with not their actual jerseys or helmets, it looks like, because they just weren't available yet. And then not having all their players, you have to think mentally they just weren't all there. So it's kind of different because you have to remember the North Michigan Musk was formerly uh, the Cornville Chaos, which they actually did lose a player before playing their first game last season. So just a bit more troubles going there. And like I said, for AIF game, this was probably the first time West Michigan seen some resistance, but the score ended at 62-17, but most of the West Michigan score just went going in the fourth quarter. They just weren't letting up, and it was just going and going and going. So I think probably the next time these next two face each other, it's going to be a lot closer game, and I believe it's also going to be played in North Michigan as well. So it's going to be interesting, like I said, throughout the season, because basically last year was basically West Michigan or nobody winning the AIF. The next one is with the Wyoming Cavalry versus the CNY Blue Devils. This was, of course, in the expansion franchise with Wyoming there. This game, it was also on their. It's kind of saying this game and the following game were supposed to have a Facebook feed, but then it went on to just YouTube. So that was kind of interesting. And also, too, Wyoming's both their touchdowns were from former teams. Like the one side had the old Arizona Rattlers in their end zone, the other one was a different Cedar Rapids on the other side. So that was kind of interesting. But the field in between was okay. But The end zone, this was interesting. On one side, the the outer covering of the end part of the end zone was not covered, so there weren't any boards or anything for them to stop. They would just go forward and into a wall. The other side had a little more walls, but in the middle, you actually had people there. So it's easy for them to stop, but it was like spectators. So even I thought that might cause a problem. And honestly, I think they need to get more boards and stuff. I'm kind of surprised they still had a game like that, but I digressed. And this was basically a blowout with Wyoming there. Uh, can't really say much. This was basically a tune-up game for the Wyoming Cavalry. They got in there, but there was a pre-thing. That was the only thing I can find. Where is it here? Yeah. Oh, no. Next game here. Sorry about that. So yeah, though they did look good, so we'll see how Wyoming goes until they face actual competition within the league. But like I said, this was basically a preseason game, tune-up game for them. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So that'll be it. Like they said, the Wyoming Cavalry beat the CNY Blue Devils 56-0. Then the next one, we have the rebranded CD Rapper River Kings now to the Cedar Rapper Titans facing the Midwest Raptors. Now, before we go to the game, let me read their pre-thing here on the website here because I thought this kind of shit. New look Cedar Rapper Titans set to debut Sunday after official tailgate party. River Kings moniker retired in favor of restoring the name of the city's indoor football franchise from 2012 to 2018. All right. Rick Krantz was intrigued by Cedar Rapids' brief indoor football history before accepting a job as head coach and general manager of the city's American indoor football franchise a year ago. Krantz did a deep dive on what went well and what fell flat with prior to iterations of indoor football in the city of 5 seasons. His research left him impressed and hopeful. The arena is great. The city is fantastic. The weather is great, said Krantz, who will lead Cedar Rapids into its AIF season opening game against the Midwest Raptors Sunday at 5 at Alien Energy Powerhouse. The thing about it is, the tradition that used to be here in my vision fit perfect, and I've learned with all the diversity that we've had because of previous years, just do what you say and you're going to do. Don't try to overdo it. Football is supposed to be easy, and it's more about the show than the football team. If you have a great product on and off the field, people will come. Kratz brings nearly 2 decades of experience from leagues such as the Ultimate Indoor Football League, Continental Indoor Football League, and the AIF. He is a 2-time Coach of the Year and 2-time Market Director of the Year. One of his first moves here was reviving the original Titans moniker that the franchise used during a run from 2012 to 2018, which it qualified for the Indoor Football League playoffs 4 times. The franchise was rebranded to the River Kings in 2019. Their history is what I saw, Chris. That people loved the Titans. They had the fan zone, and everything else. Cedar Rapids Titans. What is a River King? Titans sounds so much better, and the logo is way better, too. True. Local business owner and entrepreneur Mike Thorson has transitioned from a silent partner to the majority of the franchise. Krantz has brought a coaching staff that has been with him for 3 years, offensive coordinator Maurice Dose, defensive coordinator DeMarcus James, and line coach Joseph Fournier. As for players, Run Mackers on the roster is former Benton College and co-college quarterback Clay Crosey, who is competing for a spot. His first day in training camp was Wednesday. I had a dinner with Coach Rick at a Buffalo Wild Wings a few months back, watched some Thursday Night Football. Crosby said, went to a tryout down in Burlington. Things worked well, worked out for an opportunity. Grateful for him. The defense will be led by defensive back Autravia Smith, who helped the Omaha Beef win the 2021 champions indoor football title under 2016 Cedar Rapids coach Marvin Jones before playing outdoor ball in Poland during the 2023-24 season, probably from Elf. Very excited, Smith said. We want to make sure that coming back with the Titans name, we want to bring that excitement back to the community and also to our sponsors. Just finish what we came here and do what that is to win a championship. Before the game, the team will host an official tailgate at Kingston Yard from 1:30 to 4:30, featuring food, DJs, players, coaches, cheerleaders, bands, games, and prizes, including game tickets. Admission is free. Fans are encouraged to bring a new pillow to donate to Central Furniture Rescue. We need people to come out. Grant said Sunday is Military Appreciation Night and Breast Cancer Awareness. We're wearing pink uniforms, all pink. That is why there are not in the pictures, because no one has seen them yet. They go to the box. It's buy one, get one free for many first responders or military members and anyone. And that was correct. Watched the whole game here on that came on last Sunday. Uh Interesting though. There was a problem like the last one. They were supposed to have a game on their Facebook page that didn't happen. And the only way, and it was on YouTube, but it wasn't from someone on their side. It was broadcasted live on YouTube on a phone from the owner of the Midwest Raptors side. So the owner of Midwest Raptors, it was on in midfield. It was a sideline cam basically, but I will say this. There has been arena games in the past, like with a view of the sideline from the sideline. And this was probably the best one because like the picture was clear, it followed the whole game good and all that, and you didn't it wasn't like in a fog, nor did it have or nor did was a broadcast from a webcam with the whatever the name of the streaming service is on going in and out in the center of the picture, so I will give them that. This game, even though this was 65 to nothing, this one, I think the Midwest Raptors, if they didn't make any mistakes, it would have been a lot closer game. And the Cedar Raptor Titans, they did wear pink uniforms for breast cancer awareness. Though I will say, interesting about the arena that they're in, most of like the seats and bleachers are like above the like above, because there's like a section on the bottom, like people can just like standing room only. Then there's like a bleacher type of set like you see in a high school gym. Then there are the seats. So I kind of did like that configuration for arena. So that was kind of interesting. So I like how the arena is for the Cedar Rapids Titans. Sorry. Ugh. Uh, they had a pretty good offense, passing offense. Cedar Rapids did. The defense took advantage of a lot of turnovers from the Midwest Raptors. Though I will say I did like the Midwest Raptors black uniforms, and that was kind of cool with the black and all black with a little bit of green. Um, but the quarterback just threw interceptions, and there was even in the second quarter that there was just like a big like dragon interception that hit one of the players, and it just like went up in the air slowly, like hanged up in there a bit, and it was just dove there, and a lot of pick sixes the Titans got, like even from the other side, like it was from like caught from in the trying to get a touchdown, and then it was just ran into the other side. Though the Cedar Rapids Titans kicking, when it comes to PATs, needs to work. There was a lot of doinks for Cedar Rapids, and it's going to be kind of like I think this is going to be pretty good competition, at least for the West Michigan Ironman, at least in my humble opinion. But we'll have to see here. But interesting, the Midwest Raptors also had some problems. Like they actually had 3 players injured enough to go to the hospital, because you could hear like the owner like finding out the stuff with the players, and you could hear the owner, like I think or the coach for the Midwest has to complain to the other coach, like stop like running up the score in the floor, because they had players in the hospital, but it was a running clock all fourth quarter. So unfortunately, if you wanted to see a replay, because the other two you get replays from like from Facebook or YouTube, or if you could search Pylon Productions on YouTube, they have highlights from the Western Michigan and Wyoming Cavalry game. But unfortunately, after the Midwestern Rapids after they're done with the live, it went private. And of course, the biggest problem on that there, because It didn't have a lot of subscribers, so only a few hundred actually saw the live on YouTube, whether it's on mobile, Roku stick, or desktop. So that's one thing the Cedar Rapids Tigers can do. Make sure you have your broadcast, because they did it out. Like, it's strange to me, two of the AIF games, that two of them that were supposed to be on Facebook weren't able to do it. And then in the last one, Cedar Rapids, the only way to broadcast was the owner of the team that they were facing. So that needs to get fixed. It just needs to. So that then this weekend here, there's actually no arena games at all. The next AIF game is between the West Michigan Ironmen and Cedar Rapids Titans on the last day of February. So that's going to be a game to watch there. And like I said, some preseason game for National Relay League. So I do not know if I'm going to have a show next week due to the lack of games, but it mostly depends what goes on with the news. If we finally get the news, what the official stream partners for Arena Football 1, and also the news from the Indoor Football League meetings, and also just some more information. And I could get a guess. It depends what's on availability here. But after this week, then it's going to pretty much be every single week. There's not going to be like in betweens because of lack of news going on, since we'll be full force pretty much in the arena football season, especially up to August. So that does it this evening for Arena Frontier here on Gateway Sports. Be sure to check out our other programs that we are providing here in Gateway Sports. Be sure to check our Facebook page, our X page, and also our YouTube channel. Be sure to check all those and our other programming as well. Thank you for joining me this evening. Might see you next week, but definitely in 2 weeks. I'll let you know on the Arena Frontier X page or Facebook, or just make sure to check on Gateway Sports X and Facebook for updates as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. See you all next time.